It was Thursday, 4:47 p.m. She'd been holding it together for 3 days straight since her supervising partner, Mr. Tan, tore apart her research in front of the entire team.
Sloppy work.
He said.
Are you even thinking?
The email had come 2 minutes earlier. Client wants changes. Again. The same changes she'd suggested 2 weeks ago that got shot down. She read it twice, then walked very calmly to the bathroom, locked the stall door, and just broke down in tears. Not the pretty kind of crying you see in the movies, the ugly kind. The kind where you can't breathe and your whole body shakes and you're trying to muffle the sound with toilet paper because someone might hear, and then they'll know. They'll know you're not fine. This is I Am the Advocate, and I'm Law Boo Boo. Today we're talking about the most universal workplace experience that nobody talks about, crying at work. And more specifically, why everything you've been told about crying at work is wrong. You beautiful, brilliant humans have been fed a steady diet of myths about emotions in the workplace. That crying makes you weak, that it hurts your reputation, that it's unprofessional, disruptive, and something that only emotional people do. Worse, that it's something only women do at certain times of the month. Spoiler alert, it's all garbage. Today, we're dismantling these myths one by one, and then we're going to talk about what to actually do, whether you're the one crying, the one who overhears it, or the leader who needs to create space for actual human beings to exist in your workplace. Before we dive in, if you've got a bathroom stall story burning inside you, send it to me. These moments of raw humanity, they're not shameful secrets. They're data points in the case for a more human workplace. You're listening to I Am the Advocate, where we stop pretending emotions don't exist and start dealing with them like adults.
Segment 1. Myth-busting time.
Let's start by calling out the lies you've been told about crying at work, because these myths aren't just wrong, they're downright dangerous. Myth number 1. Women cry because they're too sensitive and emotional. Reality check. Everyone cries. The difference is that when men cry, we call it passion for work, and when women cry, we call it unstable. Same tears, different narrative. And here's what's really twisted. Studies show that people who cry at work are often the most dedicated employees. The tears aren't a character judgment. They're a signal that someone has reached their limit, whatever that limit is, and for whatever reason. They're crying because something is wrong. Maybe it is too much work. Maybe it's a toxic environment. Maybe it's personal stress bleeding into work life. Maybe it's caring so much that it hurts. The tears are telling you that there's a problem, not that the person is the problem. Myth number 2. Crying makes you look weak and destroys your professional reputation. Here's what actually destroys your reputation: being a robot. Being someone people can't relate to. Being so disconnected from your humanity that you can't recognize it in others. You know what makes people trust you? Authentic emotion at the appropriate moments. You know what's interesting? In healthy workplaces, authenticity builds trust. And in toxic ones, emotional suppression gets rewarded. The question isn't what makes people question you. It's whether you're in a place that values humans or robots. Myth number 3. Crying derails productivity and creates bad workplace dynamics. Look, let's be honest. Crying at work can be disruptive in the moment. It might make some colleagues uncomfortable. It might pause a meeting. It might shift focus from the task at hand. But here's what we need to talk about. What's more disruptive in the long run? Someone taking 5 minutes to have an emotional response and then getting back to work, or someone slowly burning out over months whilst pretending everything's fine? Someone crying once and then addressing the underlying issue, or someone quietly disengaging until they eventually quit. The real productivity killer isn't the tears. It's ignoring what the tears are telling you. When someone cries at work, it's usually a sign that something systemic is broken. Fix the system, you'll see fewer tears. Ignore the system and punish the tears, and you'll just get better at hiding the symptoms while the problems get worse. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. When someone cries at work, it's usually because the workplace has failed them, not because they failed the workplace. That crying isn't the problem, it's the symptom.
Segment 2, the real stories.
Let me share what you've been actually sending me, because these stories tell the real truth about what this profession actually does to people.
Story 1, the morning ritual of dread.
I cry before work, not sometimes, every day. I wake up and immediately feel the panic rising. On really bad days, I have full panic attacks and I end up vomiting in the toilet. I had to take 3 months off work because my body literally couldn't handle it anymore. I got physically sick from the stress. 3 months to recover from a job that's supposed to be a career. Your body staged a revolt. It said, I cannot do this anymore, and forced you to stop. That wasn't weakness. That was your nervous system trying to save your life. The fact that you needed 3 months to recover tells us everything about what this profession was doing to you.
Story 2, the Sunday countdown.
I cry every Sunday, knowing I have to face 5 days of work ahead. I lack what many of you have. Time to date, time to socialize, time to remember who I am outside of billable hours. I don't know what feeling not anxious feels like anymore. I see everyone as being happier than I am whilst I cry in bed, wishing this would all just go away. I don't even remember what it feels like to look forward to tomorrow. You've described anxiety as your baseline, not occasional stress, constant, grinding anxiety as your normal state. That's not a you problem, that's a profession that's normalized psychological torture and called it paying your dues.
Story 3, the confidence massacre.
I don't know if it's applicable to everyone, but your self-confidence will take a nosedive when you become a lawyer. At least mine did. You're told as an associate that you matter the least, that you're disposable. You can't afford to be slow because slowness equals incompetence. You beat yourself up for making a typo because why are you so stupid? Your self-worth becomes so locked up with your performance as a lawyer that you forget you're a human being with value beyond your billable hours. A bad situationship, that's exactly what it is. You keep showing up, hoping you'll get better, hoping you'll finally be good enough, hoping the abuse will stop if you just work harder. But the system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. It's designed to break you down so you'll accept unacceptable treatment and call it building character.
Segment 3, why emotions actually matter.
Here's what the emotions have no place at work crowd don't understand. Emotions are information. They're your internal alert system telling you when something's wrong, when you're overwhelmed, when you need support, when boundaries are being crossed. When you cry at work, before work, and or on Sunday nights, your body is giving you data. It's saying, this is too much, or this isn't sustainable, or I don't feel safe here. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. And here's what leaders who actually understand humans know. Emotional culture impacts everything: productivity, retention, innovation, client relationships. When people feel safe to be human, they do better work. When they're spending all their energy pretending to be robots, they burn out. Healthy expressions of emotion aren't disruptive. They're preventative. Better to have someone cry for 5 minutes and reset than to have them quietly quit 3 months later. The goal isn't to eliminate emotions from the workplace, it's to create space for them to exist without shame so that they can be processed and addressed instead of festering into bigger problems.
Segment 4. What to actually do?
Alright, let's get practical. What do you actually do when emotions show up at work? If you're the one crying, first, don't you dare apologize for being human. You're not broken, you're not weak, you're not failing. You're having a normal human response to stress. Step away if you can. Find your bathroom stall, your stairwell, your quiet corner, and give yourself permission to feel it for a moment. Then ask yourself some questions. How long have you been feeling this way? What else is happening in your life that might be contributing? Just say it out loud. I'm overwhelmed because I have 3 impossible deadlines. Or I'm scared because I don't know what I'm doing. Or I'm angry because this is the 5th time they've moved the goalposts. When you name the emotions and their sources, they lose their power faster and you can reset quicker. Then think about support. Who can help you? Do you need to have a conversation with your manager? Do you need to talk to someone outside of work? Don't try to carry this alone. If you hear someone crying, don't pretend it's not happening. Don't rush to fix it, and definitely don't gossip about it later. A simple, "Hey, are you okay? I'm here if you need anything," goes a long way. Give them space to respond or not respond. Sometimes just knowing someone noticed and cared is enough. And if they want to talk, listen without trying to solve. Definitely do not say, "At least," or "Have you tried?" Just witness their experience. If you're a leader, model emotional intelligence. Be vulnerable when appropriate. Show your team that having feelings doesn't disqualify you from being professional. When someone on your team is struggling emotionally, take time to listen. Really listen. Don't immediately jump to problem-solving mode. Sometimes people need to be heard before they can move forward. And this is a big one. Create psychological safety. Make it clear that having emotions isn't a performance issue. Focus on output and outcomes, not emotional control. And for the love of all that's holy, stop promoting people who treat emotions like character flaws. You are not rewarding strength, you're rewarding emotional suppression. That's toxic.
Segment 5. Litter box wisdom.
Time for your litter box wisdom, because sometimes the best insights come from the quiet moments. This week, I want you to practice emotional honesty. Not emotional dumping, emotional honesty. If you are feeling overwhelmed, say, "I'm overwhelmed," instead of saying, "I'm fine." If you're confused, say, "I need clarification, please," instead of pretending you understand. If you're frustrated, say, "This is frustrating," instead of smiling and nodding. Make your emotions facts, not character flaws. And here's your tiny rebellion for the week. The next time you see someone struggling emotionally, whether it's tears, frustration, or just that look of someone barely holding it together, acknowledge it. A simple, "This seems hard," or "You look like you could use some support," can be revolutionary. We've been trained to ignore each other's humanity, to keep things professional. But professionalism isn't the absence of emotion. It's the skillful navigation of emotion in service of shared goals. Your feelings aren't unprofessional. What's unprofessional is demanding people cosplay as robots for 8 hours a day.
In closing,
If this episode made you cry, good. That means you're still connected to yourself. That means all the corporate conditioning hasn't completely numbed you out yet. You're not alone in this. Every single person listening has cried at work, felt overwhelmed, or wondered if they're too emotional for their job. The difference is some of us have been trained to see that as weakness, and others have learned to see it as information. Your tears aren't a bug in your system, they're a feature. They're your humanity refusing to be deleted no matter how hard the workplace tries to program it out of you. So send me your bathroom stall stories, your conference room breakdown moments, your Sunday night emotional release sessions. You can find me at I am the Advocat on Instagram, or you can email me at lawbubu@overitclub.com. Your story matters because it reminds others they're not alone in this. And remember, you're not failing at being strong. You're succeeding at being human in a system that's forgotten what that means. Keep feeling, keep crying when you need to. This was episode 1 of I Am the Advocate. In episode 2, we're talking about your boss and why they're not actually a god, no matter what they've trained you to believe.